YeahBuddy has Dunkel. Dunkel's on red. Swap the sides. Bam. Alright. So Rough Justice having a lot of YeahBuddies in there, even pulling a Hwangatang. Well, the Hwangatang also on the side. So both sides have one Harang. Interesting show, interesting lineups. Let's check on our ads. It has been a while. Let's look at our ads. Oh shit, let's snooze our ads. And let us go in to our field battle on Wuqing Plains. Let's look like we are sending our double dual blades of red. YeahBuddy. YeahBuddy sending 2 onto C, made by 2. So it's 2 and 2 dual blade and 2 dual blades versus a dual blade pike. Companion double calves, so the Arbalest will win out that exchange. As we go back over here, let's increase the size so you guys can see over there. We'll try to get the view of there as well as we go into this matchup. Our cav is going a little bit early in on the side. YeahBuddy's cav going a little bit early in there, and unfortunately not, just kind of dying out. It's like initiation starts happy in rough. YeahBuddy red. YeahBuddy going in, starting the engagement, trying to find some value. Gets the YeahBuddy charging into the left. Does not look like they get any value. Maybe met by the IPG walk. There, Star Wars holding on, but Rough Justice does not really have the units, the infantry to be holding this, but they will actually. YeahBuddy does, so YeahBuddy will be able to get the triple. No, still only double cap, only B and C there. Units running low on both sides, but the ISG from YeahBuddy still holding strong, only losing 12 of them, so they are pushing forward and able to clear the point. Rough Justice running out of units here, ran out of units as we go into this trade. Once again, YeahBuddy on red. Rough Justice bringing a lot of greens to this battle, not as much blues or golds. So YeahBuddy also bring 140 grays, so let's remove that. So Rough Justice will be in the... I need to stop pressing buttons, the wrong buttons. Looks like we're doing a little bit of a fight down here. My bad for not catching that. As looks like we have a DB from YeahBuddy stalling out the supply, stalling as long as possible. They will get... Rough Justice will get the C back, so they're no longer under triple cav, but they're now down 300 score here. That's why it's only a few people on YeahBuddy on 1 death. How many people died? Sir Crank on Rough Justice already on his last life. And there's still 15 minutes left of this battle. So he's going to have to play very careful here as we go into it. DB trying to find some value. He does have the Arbalest to support him. So YeahBuddy having the Arbalest does make it so that they can get that C point very easily. Comcav not allowed. Play the game. YeahBuddy going into the Comcav. Does look like the YeahBuddy might have lost that. Yeah, YeahBuddy lost that. What a surprise. As we have a lot of engagement coming in onto the point there here. IHG going in, big yans into the side of the stalwarts. Huge damage. Reverse Courliers going straight through. Actually, that might have been Yeoman going through as well. The infantry looking low, but YeahBuddy still has 2 units of stalwarts where Rough Justice doesn't really have anything. But we have the YeahBuddy and the Yeoman coming in the back. Does look like they will get stopped by the Fort Brasio. Triple cap happening yet again. And Rough Justice does not have the infantry to be continuing this fight. The YeahBuddy tried to come in, but they will get caught by the Fort of Brasio. Yeoman Cooliers goes slowly into this unit, but will not be able to find anything. Rough Justice having a stalwart still left on the point and still having a little bit of units. But now Rough Justice, YeahBuddy is able to repull from the supply, actually being supply blocked by the short sword there. So, but the respawner is able to bring Cav clear up the point. As Rough Justice looking very low on points, already down to 700 points to 1350, realizing they're losing this A point too much, going instead to the BC area instead. Maybe realizing, hey, we can't win this A fight, we're just losing somehow. But now they're going to be under the artillery fire of YeahBuddy. It'll be a little bit rough trying to defend out here. Let's see how the deaths are going here. Rough Justice, no one dead out of the fight, but they still have a lot of people on their last life, where YeahBuddy only has one person on their last life. So it's going to be very hard for Rough Justice to claw their way back in. Coolier trying to go into the rat pikes. Rat pikes will be charging into them, so they will not find any value there. Harangue are a little bit close here, but I don't think anybody on. Well, we still have the musket from YeahBuddy still out and about, so these Harangue are just a little bit out of position, will be caught out and killed. YeahBuddy is saying, we do not want your Harangue just free firing into us. Amazing capture, catching those Harangue out of position. As we go into this fight, looks like we're having a little bit of a fight over here on the supply. It's kind of hard to figure out where exactly we're fighting here. It's a little split up. Rough Justice kind of trying to hold on, but they're a little bit split and struggling to find any value in their hubris. It's going to be very hard for them to do any defense. Down to defense is 700 versus 700. Units look at 700 for 700, but it's really just green units left of Rough Justice, and there's Wuqing Couteliers going through. It doesn't look like they connect with much. Another Coutelier tries again. We'll find Apex, and we'll find some rat pikes there. Great Couteliers trying to get some value. Companion cap coming in as well. Hussars coming through the back. Amazing Hussars by Rough Justice, doing insane value there, but it doesn't look like it's really helping them that much. Again, the trade is so spread out, but they don't have the infantry. Rough Justice just doesn't have the infantry to really be fighting this, as more cav from YeahBuddy now comes in and starts cleaning up all the remaining infantry. A little bit scattered cav, but you know, it is still cav trying to get in. Coolier coming through the left, goes through the Hussars, gets a lot of the stalwarts. Amazing Cooliers by a Winkrow there, goes to supply now, finds more of the stalwarts. Maybe some of those were paladins. I believe it was stalwarts though. Down to 300 points. Rough Justice in a really bad spot here, kind of running out of units, down to 150 300 units, just our green units remaining. I can't tell because the chart keeps jumping. I don't really know, but we're down to units. Basically, no units remaining. Rough Justice. 2 people out of the fight won't be coming back here. Down to 200 points. They need to get a double cap off. They do have double cap. Maybe it's going to be close here. They just need to hold 2 points. They need to hold B, they need to hold A. And look like they did regain control of B here. Again, units looking pretty low. But YeahBuddy doesn't really have that many units either. They used to have some gold units remaining. Cooliers got a little bit hard of a rotation squad. Look at how this is going. And YeahBuddy will have to rely on the artillery. They do have time on their side. Having 700 points, only losing 2 a tick isn't that bad for them when you have 700 to 185, so you have the time to reset up with your artillery. Does look like YeahBuddy does look another player there. Maybe wait for the triple cap. Rough Justice. YeahBuddy now realizing, hey, let's go get our A point back. You know, let's put them back on the heel. Now, Rough Justice has to get the C point. There is a short sword stalling it out, but they don't have anyone stalling out the A point, so we will go back to doing a double cap in favor of YeahBuddy. But again, back to even. Now Rough Justice is in the lead, but they have to keep somebody on that C point. But there is a DB with Wuqing, so you can't keep your rats there. But it does look like they are rotating an Arbalest over there to deal with it, but now the B point's getting pressured as well. You cannot give up that C capture. Fight goes on at B point, kind of hard to really tell without losing track of what's happening on that C point. That C point matters as much as there's a B fight happening. Looks like Rough Justice is having the unit advantage, but those A-Zaps just going straight through Rough Justice's greens, unable to really deal with them at all. Running out of units, we are down to our last 100. Running out of units, running out of people. They just do not have the men to continue this fight. Unfortunately, I just got baited by those Wuqing pikemen on C there. Can't blocks my screen. And that will be YeahBuddy winning out. A very close match there. It looked like Rough Justice was barely clawing their way back into the fight, but unfortunately they just did not have the units remaining to win out the fight, and they will go down. And this will be a YeahBuddy coming back, going from a 0-2 to a 3-2. Amazing plays by YeahBuddy, clawing their way back in. Let's go over the stats. As we go over the stats here, can't disable ads. As we go to the stats here, unfortunately, guys, we will re-go over how that match went. As we go over the stats here, again, YeahBuddy winning out of how this match went. Stats for nerds. For those who are getting through ad block, congratulations. Again, that is my boys. Stats for nerds. If you got through all the stats, congratulations. Thank you. Chart for nerds. As you see by this first chart here, blue. Rough Justice lost that first trade by quite a lot. It looks like they weren't even on the rest of the trades here.